Let's now join your regularly scheduled programming already in progress. Hello, once again, this is Rick Schneider doing another video on Borderlands 3. So today I'm going to talk to you about my experience playing online and my experience with Borderlands 3 in general. Today I'm using a Amara build, which I've had about a month. The last time I did a video I was using Flak exclusively, but the way it goes with things getting nerfed and changed around, and the fact that I couldn't find his rack pack build at all, maybe begrudgingly decided just to try Amara because everybody had such nice things to say about her anyway. To which I do not regret changing at all. I still love Flak. Flak's a great character to play, but Amara just right now is the it girl, so to speak. As you can see, we're in the Maliwan takedown. The actions, I started right in the middle. I didn't record the full start of this. So we're right in the middle of the action. We're nearly done the first part of the day. When it came to Amara, I was very lucky. Unlike with Flak, where I tried for over a week with the rack pack, never got a single thing to drop. And that's the entire trial of cunning over and over and over and over and over again. With Amara, within 2 hours, I was able to get the spiritual driver. The first time around. I did another 2 hours last week and got another one within 2 hours. I have some funny footage of that because I just started using the recursion after hearing so much about it. I'll put it up eventually, but you'll see what it actually does to guys. I swear I was taking shots at Celestro and sending him flying off the map, like 1,000 miles off the map into the air every single time. And in the slaughter shafts, it sends guys flying. Here, it sends guys flying. I think it's literally one of the best guns around, and I highly recommend it to anybody. I don't know how good it works on the other characters, but it definitely works really well with Amara. And I've heard it can work with Zane too. So go out and give it a try. Go hunting for that. I highly recommend it. And General Trant is a very easy farm. As you can see here, I'm just trying to contribute what I can to this. Sometimes online the guys are so much better than what I'm at. It's like they're just plowing through and it's like I'm almost spectating. I'm just trying to do what I can, and before I know it, we're right at the end. Here, this one takes a little bit longer. You see, like everybody's on the stage, they're getting taken care of, and I just circle the wagons and come back, get 2 pot shots, and then everybody's dead. Anyway, I'm new to the takedown. It's a week and a half since I started playing online. I know the skill level is supposed to be scaled back on Thursday, but I still wanted to try my hand at 4-player, and I think it's good. It's been a good experience so far. Like I said, the skill level varies. Sometimes you're just along for the ride, sometimes you're doing a lot yourself, sometimes everybody dies. It's definitely different every time you do it, and it should be interesting to do it, by myself and see how that goes. The build I'm using on Amara is basically, well, it's a Ricochet Witch build, just slightly modified for more survivability. And I would say to anybody who wants to start up an Amara, use the Ricochet Witch build, and also make sure you check off the Guardian Angel skill and have that talent going all the time. It's 120 seconds for cooldown, but I'm telling you, all you gotta do is run around for 120 seconds and basically you become unkillable. If you're not dead every minute and a half, you're basically unkillable. You're always popping back up. So I highly recommend that. It's 100%. If you're doing a skill tree for her, mark that off. Make a point of doing it. As you see, like my big complaint, something because I'm new, I'm always trying to keep my action skill going, and it always winds up petering out. I'm trying to do the fake grasp all the time, not actually phase grasping people, but phase grasping the floor, turning away from targets. So I'm not actually phase grasping them, because that takes all the wind out of your sail. You get all this time building up momentum. You're running around, you're running around, you're running around, and all of a sudden everything just peters out and dies, and you wind up like casually walking whilst there's gun shots going off in all directions. So that's my big thing. I want to try to get better at keeping my action skill up all the time. As you can see here watching that Valkyrie was kind of chugging along. I think the internet was a little bit chuggy for this part. Have you guys had any problems with any glitches doing this? I mean, I've heard of glitches, but we had a glitch a couple of days ago. There was 4 of us. We had just finished the bridge. We went to where the shield drops and those 4 heavies come through. The shield didn't drop and nothing happened. Like nobody came out after that. It just kind of paused. The whole game kind of just stopped in its tracks. So that was different. And I've also seen that a lot of times, well, at least twice, not a lot, but at least twice, I have seen where if you die fighting Wotan, some of the twice it's happened to me, and I've seen it happen to other people, where you don't respawn. The guys who are spectating, they don't respawn. At the end of this, you'll see it's just me and the other guy who finished this, and the guys who are spectating don't respawn. It's like it cuts you off somehow. Maybe it's just an online glitch. I don't know what it is. Because I know the first time that happened, where I died fighting Wotan, I was like surprised that I got to respawn and look at some of the loot that was there. I didn't expect that. How do you guys find working with other people online? Myself, at first, a few times I've been booted by people just out of nowhere. It's like I just spawn in at the very start, and all of a sudden the screen goes, and I'm back at Sanctuary because they booted me out of the session. I don't know how you even do that. Seems kind of odd, but other times, most of the times, everybody's cool. I always try to be a good player and revive people if they're down, which I think is, you know, just being polite, and it's not just because I'm Canadian. It's different trying to do stuff without communicating with people, so it's basically like just trying to have your own strategy, right? With me, with Wotan, I'm trying to clear out all the spears, because I know those get in everybody's way, and they're an absolute nuisance to deal with, so I try to isolate those guys, and get rid of as many of them as possible, and try to get in pot shots on Wotan when I get a chance. So just to clear the traffic, so it's a bit easier just to take down the main target. But otherwise, you know, I've seen a lot of these guys, maybe it's everybody's strategy, but I've seen a lot of guys bunch up together, especially at the bridge section, where they're all standing together and firing down the bridge, whereas I'm running straight up the bridge, and normally my first thing I go do is I try to get rid of all the hounds as they're coming out of their cages. And then after that, I'm trying to take down the sphere, so it's less stuff to deal with, make our life a bit easier. And I find those guys aren't particularly, once you get them whittled down, if you can tie them down, because they move around like crazy, if you can start whittling them down, they're not that bad to get rid of. That's one of the strategies that I use. And it's funny, this part here, I mean, I could mention it when it happens, but as we go around the corner, after we're done this part, go down the stairs and start heading up towards the bridge. One of the times I was running so fast, I decided to jump around the corner and leap clean off the bridge. I had to respawn, I had to watch. I thought it was pretty hilarious. But you guys see what I'm saying, where I'm doing what I feel is my share, but it feels like, because everybody else is blasting them, it's so hard to tell if what you're doing is making any difference or not. That's just me. I have a guilty complex. I want to make everybody happy. This is all, I know you guys have seen all this stuff before, nothing special here. I have a radiation redistributor on right now. And I find that works for this area. Once we get to Wotan, I switch to a shock redistributor, because I heard it's best to match your element that you're doing, because I have an elemental projector on. Elemental projector auto idle going, and it's best to have a matching element to what you're actually shooting. So, I have the shock and the shock, so that's what I switch to. I find the radiation helps for this because it's more of a generalized thing. Even though I'm using the shock, it's more of a generalized radiation. It's good against everything. What do you guys think of the redistributor? Have you used it? I've been lucky because some people I've gotten them. I just asked in those Facebook groups. Some people were just like, well, I have a ton of redistributors I'm giving away. So I asked, and this nice lady gave me like 6. And then I got another one on top of that. I find it's in this, I've only used it in the takedown, so it's hard for me to tell. It's the breaking news. We're both running back towards the bridge because the other 2 guys, we don't know where they are. So we backtrack there. I could have cut that part out. So here we go. We're going to be getting up to the bridge soon. Calling play-by-play on my own work. Oh, it's going to be so different trying this without any help. I wonder how different it's going to be. I find there's times when I've been stuck, and there's still been tons of, like, my other teammates have died, and there's been like tons of bad guys that I have to kill before we can move on. I found if I get them all to chase me, I'm talking about the Valkyrie squad. I haven't really been abandoned on this. I think I had everybody die here and I was like dead straight away. Normally I just run one end to the other, like I was saying, take care of the hounds, take care of the spheres, or just run back and forth trying to make myself a hard target to hit, trying to get as many pot shots in as possible. Yeah, but I found, anyway, my train of thought just got derailed. Anyway, I found trying to get them to chase you in the Valkyrie squad, where they literally have a whole lineup of them running after you. With a recursion and one well-placed shot, you can take out like, 5, 6, 7 guys all at once. And that's the few times I've had to be stuck having to clean up the mess, so to speak. And I found that has worked actually beautifully. That's my little strategy. When they're gonna chase after me, I'm gonna make them pay for it. So I have a question. I know that they have Chain Zane. I think that's Dead Spikes. Or somebody else was using that. They were using the electric banjo. I don't like the fact that you don't get that much protection with the electric banjo. Like no radiation resistance. It's just shock resistance and stuff, which you already have with the transformer anyway. So would an electric banjo help? Especially, like, I've seen it in action with the redistributor. It's kind of like a submachine gun version of the Brainstorm, which I think is great, but your survivability goes down to gets tanked if you don't have, like, my elemental projector has 23% resistance to all elements, which is nice. The electric banjo is just like, it's only resistant to electricity, to shock. So I don't know. Maybe I might try it. If I do and I get brave enough. Yeah, so this is a bit of a slog. I know I'm playing with good guys when it's like 20 minutes and we're done. Or less than that. But I'm playing with good guys all the time. Everybody's good. That's not the thing. But there's people whose skill level are so much more massive. where you're just being carried along. Sometimes it's like an hour. But how do you guys feel about respawning? I didn't realize that you can, if I die, sometimes I'll respawn and want to go through it again, but sometimes I'll just be like, I'm tired. Get me out of here, I want to go to bed. And so I'll just leave. But it keeps on saying you're kicking other people out of the game. Which is, I don't really want to do that, but it's like, why do I have to sit here and wait possibly forever? Because you guys may want to do another 10 runs. So it's just the Canadian guilty conscience thing, right? You know, I don't want to wait around, but I don't want to ruin your night, you know what I mean? I have heard that people have waited for up to an hour to matchmake doing this. I have not had that experience yet. Like yesterday is literally, I go matchmake and then boom, 4 people, I'm on, and that's a Monday. I think the longest I've had to wait is 10 minutes. You know, and what's, should I put on a should I have my microphone and headset going so I can talk to people? I don't mind doing it. The other night, I had my headset on, and I heard somebody cough. It scared the living crap out of me because I hadn't heard anything. We were playing for close to an hour. I don't mind chatting with people, but it's coming from a sports thing. It's kind of like talking about looter shooter games. It's like I have no clue what to talk about, as you could probably tell from the narration of this video. This is coming up, like I said, it's just me and one other guy who wind up finishing this. I think it's unfair when the other 2 people get locked out because they've done just as much work to get here, and then a stupid glitch means they don't have access to the loot, and it's just obnoxious. And they really should fix that. And here, as you see, it's the thing I find about this. I'm just trying to keep the action skill going, and I'm going to shoot at anything that comes my way. But by the time me just running around doing that, it's like those guys are finishing off Wotan. It's so weird. It's like hard to... I already play pretty much in your face anyway. So having to, I don't know, be more in your face with the boss. You know, I think if with my strategy, I just run around in circles until Wotan vomits from seeing me running around in circles. That would be my way of doing it. People like, man, he's been running around in circles for 5 hours. He's got like 3 shots off. Time to play a little bit more risky. So, you see this part, when his shield is all the way up, I've used that shoot to jump out. And I've literally landed inside the force field, and it's offed me and nuked me. So I'm a bit hesitant to go there. But I realize it's a thing you have to do. But I didn't realize, and I didn't think, I can just go to one of those shoots that's further away and shoot from a distance. But that brings in my issue. It's hard to know which guns to use. The Cutsman is a great gun, but it shoots so freaking slow. You'll see sometimes, look, he just dodged my shots like nothing. And there's a couple times where Wotan's better half, I shoot at him, it misses him because he just is flying faster than it, and he turns around and flies into it because he has so much time because the thing is so bloody slow. Again, as you see, the redistributor works way better when you're using the matching element. It works well no matter what, but it works way better when you're using the matching element. And again, as you see, like my confusion is which gun to use. I'm using the Craps from the new DLC as my pistol. I've heard good reviews on it, and it does good damage. I spent like 3 hours trying to shop for an anointed one. Yesterday, I got a couple anointed ones, but I'm not really good anointed, so I'm looking for the 50% cryo, corrosive, incendiary or whatever on action skill, and instead I got splash damage and critical damage increased by 25% or something like that. And I'm not really concentrating on crits when I'm doing this. I'm just trying to hit something and not die. Well, I'd like to thank Moxie for this great build because it's certainly gives survivability. I take a real beating. Like, look at that. I run into an orb of energy. I'm crazy. Yeah, he can take a real beating with Amara and keep on trucking, so to speak. The other Vault Hunter there, the Zane guy, he's just wrecking everything. I feel like I'm doing nothing at this point. I'm trying to see if the recursion can actually do something to Wotan. It's so hard to know because the health bar is so huge, right? So how often do you guys play online? Have you played offline? Online? Are you going to? Now that it's going to be scaled back. I highly recommend, even though you're playing with strangers and it's 4-person difficulty, highly recommend doing it online with other people just to get used to it. So you start getting used to the patterns and where the bad guys are, where they're spawning, and what their behaviors are. Stuff like that. So when you actually choose to do it by yourself, you don't have the learning curve that you would have if you're just starting fresh. So that's my reasoning that I'm sticking to. Look at me, I just walk right into energy balls like that. Like nothing. It's like I did it on purpose or something. See, these are the guys. That's like the one time I phase grasp through the entire thing. And I don't finish off the bad guy. Oh, okay, I did. I don't even know how Wotan's upper half came down. My buddy there. I want to get to know the people I work with, so anybody, like I said, I'll leave it in the comment. Pinned comments if anybody wants to add me to play. I'm always down. I'm on the eastern part of Canada, so that's a thing to take into account. And also I work nights, so if I'm not on playing, it's because I'm sleeping. Here I am taking out Wotan's brain. This part confuses me a little bit because I take his brain out, I literally make it explode, but yet I don't get a second wind, and then I shoot that like twice and I get a second wind. And now here's the dangerous part because you still have all these bad guys floating around when all you want to do is check your loot. And it's so easy to get destroyed because all you're doing, see, I almost got destroyed. But Guardian Angel, Guardian Angel, Guardian Angel. I wound up picking up a shield, one of the Maliwan shields, Super Giant version 0.M here. And again, it's like I'm sitting there. I edited out time because I'm sitting there going, where are these guys? They're not coming in. They're not coming in. Because there's a good 5 minutes after this that I cut out where I'm going, where are these guys? Nobody's here. Nobody's coming in to check the loot. And they just didn't come in. For some reason, there was some kind of glitch going on.